everyone, and welcome to the Washington Hospitality Association GPO webinar. I'm Ken Wells. I'm with the Washington Hospitality Association in the Business Development, and we're here to discuss group purchasing, also known as GPOs. The association has aligned itself with the nation's largest GPO to provide member value and manufacturers rebates on items on basically everyday orders. Some quick housekeeping before I begin this webinar. It's being recorded. The webinar is being recorded, and we'll provide you the recording to the registrants within 24 hours, as well as some contact information or just additional information in case anything's needed. We will have Q&A, so you can put in your questions. I have a moderator that's taking those and will send them to me. We'll answer those during the webinar. If we miss anything that you would like to get answers on when we send out the email, just send us back a reply to what your additional question, answer any questions that you need. Joining me today on our panel are industry experts that have really one form or another of GPO experience and solutions that provide really all levels of value in the hospitality and food service industry members. So these guys got some good industry experience. First, let me introduce you to Joe Shelsman. He's been associated with Dine-In Alliance, one of the largest GPOs in the nation for over 14 years. Joe originally worked as a distributor partner within the organization for 11 years and is currently Senior Vice President of Sales and Business Development in Dine-In Alliance. Joe has been in food service distribution and in the hospitality field for over 35 years. Wave and say hello, Joe.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
And also with us today is David Vargas. David gained his hospitality experience in the lodging industry with the Breakers in Palm Beach, Florida. If anyone's heard of that particular resort, it's a 6-diamond, 5-star resort, one of the last, if not the last, independently owned by a family out in Palm Beach. He also has 6 years experience in the QSR segment of the food service industry. David is a program director for sales at Source One Purchasing, which primarily focuses on hotels and lodging. So today, hotel lodging, luxury hotels, and casinos. I guess I should really say a little bit of all you do there, David. But between Joe and David, we'll be able to cover both restaurants, food service, and the lodging industry here today. Why are we having the webinar? Just reopening our in-house dining or just our business in general, whether you're in restaurants or in lodging, with what we've gone through in COVID, we just need more opportunities to save money. And GPOs can give us a great opportunity to do that. So first, let me thank you guys for doing your part to reduce the spread of COVID. And as you all know, the Washington State is using a phased approach to reopen food establishments and hotels, which were closed by the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. So again, thank everybody for doing the part. So first, what I'd like to cover is what is a GPO, and then a little bit about so first we'll just cover that and then get into association program as well. But just briefly, Joe, could you kind of start us off as what is a GPO and how can a GPO help operators save money?
Sure. Thanks again, Ken. And once again, good morning, everybody. A GPO, or known as a group purchasing organization, can pretty much be best defined as the more volume we can capture for manufacturers, the better we can negotiate rebates or enhancing those rebates with those manufacturers. It's strength in numbers. One way a GPO helps save operators money by capturing available rebates on everyday food and disposable products they purchase through advanced technology that they would not normally miss out on.
Thanks for that. Hey, David, how would you differentiate a good GPO versus just any GPO out there?
Absolutely, Ken. Thanks. And good morning, everybody. So I would have to, advise everybody in that regards to, size and scope. A good GPO can bring value to many facets of food service and hospitality. Whether it's a restaurant, a hotel, a country club, recreational facility, hotel and lodging, a casino, healthcare. I mean, there's just so many ways. But a good GPO will capture as many manufacturers and companies with available benefits to the operator. A good example may be a big box store like Home Depot versus just a hardware store, out on the corner.
Okay, thank you for that. And so the association has put actually put a couple of years into researching GPOs and in the marketplace, and we've settled down to really two key relationships. I think today there'll be some interesting, for those of you that really have no experience in GPOs and understanding anything, this will be a great opportunity, as well as, how do you get signed up on one, et cetera. So first, Joe, can you tell us a little bit about, Dining Alliance is, I think the largest GPO out there in the U.S. serving the food service industry. Can you tell us a little bit about Dining Alliance?
Sure. Dining Alliance is a family-owned and operated company that started about 22 years ago, which over time has evolved into many different sister companies. One of them is Source Purchasing, and David has a little bit stronger of a background on that. So, Dave, if you could shed a little bit of light of the Source One history.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So, Source One Purchasing was also, founded by a gentleman about 29 years ago. We actually had the great pleasure of becoming one of the Dining Alliance sister companies about 2 years ago, as our founder, was coming into his retirement age, and he found that the Davy family had built their GPO very similar to what he had done, across the country, and found that this was going to be the best home for his legacy to live on. So we're very happy to be able to be a part of our, largest GPO partnership here.
Okay. And then how would you guys say you serve the operator?
We work with food and disposable manufacturers to capture rebates for them, like the manufacturers provide to the big national chain restaurants. We also partner with many major companies outside of food and disposables that the operators use day in and day out that reduce cost. We call these programs Beyond Prime programs, and we'll talk a little bit about more of them throughout this webinar.
Okay. And then Dining Alliance, Joe, you guys focus on restaurants, Source Ones, the hotels and lodging division. Can you kind of break down a little bit, or David, let me start with you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Share how the program brings value to the everyday operator.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we bring state-of-the-art analytics and reporting as proprietary to our company, which has allowed us to tailor everything to the needs of our members based on us being in the industry for over 25 years. You add to that the client managers that we have and the Beyond Prime specialists. Did you want to add?
And go ahead.
Sure. David pretty much summed up a lot of that, but for the most part, whatever the type of hospitality establishment, we can help that operator cut expenses one way or another. Our motto has always been the premise and existence of Dining Alliance is to help the operator succeed.
Right. So I don't want to kind of jump around here, but I heard you talk about manufacturer rebates. So me as an operator out there, I'm not maybe getting manufacturer rebates on my own. Is the bottom line is that you guys kind of bridge that gap?
Yes. Yes. If I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding the question there.
Well, I'm thinking part of it. There's two pieces to the program. One is manufacturer rebates and one is prime source. Anyhow, we'll get into that in just a minute. So if someone wants to sign up or become a member of a GPO, is there a cost?
There is no cost. No, a member will never see a bill from our GPO. How we make our money is we're paid by the manufacturer to drive volume to them, period.
Okay. So, but there are GPOs out there that do charge you just to get in. That's, I did come across that. I thought that was interesting, and there's no cost to join this one, which is nice. What if I'm buying everything locally? So, you talked about manufacturer rebates, I mean, how many manufacturers are you out there reaching to? And what if the bottom line is I'm just buying local? I'm buying, farm to table.
So if I'm understanding your question right, as long as those providers are distributing the manufacturers that we have secured deals with, we will capture rebates for the operator. Proof of purchase needs to be provided.
Okay. All right. Then outside of manufacturer rebate programs, what are the other benefits of the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I can answer to that. Our Beyond Prime programs are very massive, right? It allows us to bring additional vendors to our customers to assist them in areas besides, just the food and beverage. I can bring an example. Burke Street is a vendor that we use on the Source One side to assist, our customers in being able to lock down the order guides, for example, completely cancel out any type of rogue spending. And that's a feature that Source One brings to the table. It's a module of Burke Street that's actually free to our customers rather than having to pay for the full version of Burke Street, which can be, into the tens of thousands of dollars. So we've established a very amazing program with them amongst, the other 800 plus vendors that we help them with as well.
Okay, 800 plus vendors. So this is. So, Joe, just kind of going out into left field here. I know you hate that when I do this, but you guys got quite a bit of a relationship with quite a few manufacturers out there. Can you kind of express how big this GPO is?
Sure. So we have contracted deals with north of 350 manufacturers of food and or disposables, paper and disposables. And that equates to about 165,000 line items of product, which is massive. And if you look at that at a scale of what a broad line distributor might inventory, it's rare to see a broad line distributor inventory more than 12,000 line items. And we're capturing 165,000 line items. So when David said earlier in this size and scope, what makes up a GPO, that probably best explains that.
So a lot of people as an operator, you start to think of, let's just talk about categories just for a quick second. So when you talk about food and beverage, is this also outside of food and beverage? Like, is there an opportunity in supplies and, my takeout supplies, my paper and other areas as well? Or is everything just a food and beverage, group purchasing?
That's correct. Paper and disposables is a large part of where we have contracts, and some of those rebates are deeper than food related, just because for a paper distributor there's more margin in them, so they're able to give a larger rebate.
Okay, and then when I think of some of these large guys out there, I mean, so I might buy certain things from locally, so I might be buying meat locally and fish locally. But my distributor's probably selling me a lot of other items. That could be creamers, it could be takeout bags, it could be, anywhere from Pepsi to craft or seasoning with McCormick's or right. I could keep going or because you got 350 different manufacturers with 165,000 contracts. I mean, I could be going or to death. I'm probably using something that you guys are probably linked up with as far as manufacturer rebates. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. We can find savings for almost any operator out there. And you happen to mention, Pepsi. It happens to be one of our oldest programs that we have. It's 22 years old. McCormick, you mentioned, is another one. And I also would like to point out too that you did mention meats and seafood. Where we don't carry rebates is with what we call commodity-driven products, boxed beef or fresh seafood. The margins are so tight there is no rebate. Where you see rebates is
Okay.
on food.
Okay. Okay. So, David, if I'm a hotel with a restaurant, I mean, you guys have talked about Dining Alliance, Source One. Dining Alliance is really an organization that has multiple companies and relationships. You guys are driven, like you said, by your analytics and your technology, which I viewed as it's awesome information. I can, see the things that I'm buying, where I'm spending my money, there's a really lot of good technology, which I think is unique about the GPO. Not going down that path, but just for a quick second, if I'm signing up with a hotel and I got a restaurant, I'm covering both. If I sign up with Source One under a hotel, am I also getting my restaurant signed up?
Absolutely, that's a great question, and that is yes. I'll go a little deeper on that answer. It's if they lease out that restaurant to, let's say, David's Bar and Grill, the hotel will be enrolled through Source One Purchasing. The restaurant will be serviced by Dining Alliance. But if the hotel is the one that manages and owns that restaurant, then Source One also has the capability to go ahead and service the hotel and the restaurant as well.
Okay, so it's either or. Obviously, if I've got a partner there, I can spread the relationship out and let them know to go ahead and join up as well. And if not, I'm signing up. I basically got them both covered, because this is not just food service; it's also covering hospitality. Let me ask you a question, David, on the lodging side, because if I'm a lodger, in lodging and hotels and resorts, which you've got a luxury brand, which I think is really cool. What are some of your top things on that side that you see that are in the program that are really favorites? You don't have to go to maybe talk about a brand or two or whatever, but what are the top categories, let's say, that the lodging side goes after?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I probably won't go with brand specific, because there's so many. But I will say, the top categories, be it a resort or be it a hotel or, just a regular full service hotel, you got your linens, you have your chemicals, and obviously you have your food, right? So we've tried to encompass the program to make sure that we're servicing all of those main category areas where the hotels are having to spend money on. And how do we help them save as much cash as possible? So that's where we've identified the main aspects of our program. But of course, we also service the other categories as well.
Okay. Joe, do I have to change my buying habits to really take advantage of this program?
No, not at all. You don't need to change a thing you do. You don't need to change who you purchase it from, how you purchase it, or what you buy.
Okay. And am I signing up for a long-term contract? You're not charging me to get in. To sign up, to become a member, or however you want to preferences in a GPO. But am I signing a long-term contract? What am I giving away?
You are not. Our program is completely not a non-threatening program. You're signing on to it's not a contract. It's a letter of participation. When I say it's non-threatening, we are not asking for Social Security numbers. We're not asking for tax ID numbers. We're not asking for bank account numbers. It's your basic information: your name of your establishments, your address, name of decision maker, email, phone number, list of your distributors, and your account numbers with them, and your willingness to participate in the program.
Okay. So, especially in today's difficult time, with COVID and really honestly, let's try to survive. We don't know what shoe's going to drop tomorrow, and obviously operators are really trying to do everything they can to save money and still provide the great historical services that and product that they've always given. If there's what I would say, what would you like everyone to really understand about Dining Alliance and Source One in this process?
David, do you want to start with that, or?
Yeah, no, I can definitely answer to that. I think the biggest things that we want to make sure that the membership or our customers understand is that Dining Alliance and Source One are about helping operators to succeed. A lot of that has to do with saving on expenses. Plus, you have the technology, as you were speaking, Ken, that's assisting to manage their businesses to do it more efficiently. And I think right now with COVID, that's the biggest aspect that we can look at is how can I do it more efficiently to save as much as I possibly can. And there are some perks that we can talk to. Joe, do you want to maybe talk about some of those perks?
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the best perks is, when you become a member, you get your own member portal, and you have access to, information on your business, like purchasing insights and the most updated trends in the industry. It's an avenue right to our website. Another one is, you capturing rebates on products the operator purchases without the operator having to do a thing. We do it automatically.
Absolutely. And I think one of the other aspects that we'd like to make sure our membership understands is the value that we have at having a team of experts that help them source and find items that have been consolidated by a lot of the manufacturers that are a little hard to find during these times. So keeping in mind that our experts are just a call away for our members, that's a very big aspect of what we can do.
Okay. Hey, Joe, I've got a question coming up, and but from one of the people that are signed on. Could you expand a little bit on the Pepsi deal?
Sure. So our Pepsi deal is based on gallons an operator would use in a year. And when we say gallons, it's basically what they call the bibs, the bag in a box product. And our program starts at north of 350 gallons per year, and it is a rebate back to the operator, a set dollar per gallon. So, if I'm Burger King, obviously I got my own purchasing programs. Who knows? Maybe I use you guys for one or two items. If I'm Olive Garden, but if I'm an independent, this is great because I don't have these relationships with these manufacturers, all these different programs. So it sounds like to me, I mean, you guys, I think, are north of 50,000 establishments that are using this program. That's why you have, so that's like 55,000 plus. So, which is really cool because if I've got 10 locations, I'm not going to be the size of a Starbucks or a Papa John's or, any of the big operators out there, right? Or any of the large hotels out there. So this is perfect for those guys. Do I need to give you, this is one of the questions coming out of the group. Do I need to give you permission on my behalf to talk to manufacturers? No. What we do is, and that was something we would take on a case-by-case basis. Our program is mainly with Washington Hospitality is on the cash back side, but I think I would need to understand that question a little bit more in detail.
Well, I think one thing is and this is I'm kind of interpreting the question a little bit. You've already done it with the manufacturers, right? I mean, you've already talked on behalf. As a matter of fact, you have tens of thousands of locations that are already on these manufacturer programs. So you're basically bringing these manufacturers and these programs to the new people that join in today. If I'm joining in today and I've been on it and I'm doing a certain amount of volume of something and I'm asking you to go out for me and maybe look for something that you don't have a program on, how do you do something like that? I mean, do you guys look at that as, well, we've got not just yourself. In other words, I don't know what item to pick, but a widget A, right, as whatever. And you guys don't have a widget A program yet. How do you guys add something new? I think is kind of more of what that question would be if you don't already have a program in place. And I couldn't imagine you don't, but let's say there is that situation where you don't. Do you need my approval, or do you really grab the kind of bulk of what's out there, the need for everybody of these 55,000 locations, and put that together and go to a manufacturer? So do you need your operator's approval to do that?
No, we don't. But I think part of what you were leaning into is Maybe there's a manufacturer that operators use out there that we don't have a program. We have a whole department that speaks to manufacturers all the time to try to get them to join our program and be able to, negotiate to a rebate back on case sold. And if we're able to show volume on that item, there's a very good chance that that manufacturer will partner with us.
Okay, all right. And there's questions about how to, details on the rebates and what about distributors. So what's that relationship with the distributor? I mean, you guys go out and you grab information as far as what the operators are using, and that's what you report to the manufacturers to collect the rebates. Is that correct?
Correct. The rebate is for the operator. The distributor is just the avenue to distribute that product. But the rebates are out there for the distributor. And if I can define that a little further, I like to use a Best Buy example. I think we've all used a rebate at one point or another. If Ken, if you and I were going to walk into Best Buy and buy a new TV, for our homes, and we saw a Sony and a Samsung there, both the same size, both had the same features, both had the same price, we would, and the Samsung had a $200 rebate attached to it, we would probably buy the Samsung and mail in for our $200 rebate. We as the consumer, that rebate's out there for us, we get the rebate. Best Buy doesn't care, they sold the TV.
Right. So if I'm an operator, and let's say between my whole entire menu, I might have, when I think of, how many line items are at a distributor, between my supplies and my food and, my spices and everything, I might have, let's say 300 different, line items. I don't know if that's high or low, but let's just use that number out there. I'm not going to have the ability as an individual operator to go to 300 different manufacturers, or let's say in those 300 line items, it represents maybe 200 different manufacturers. I'm just not going to have the time to go and get rebates from them. And factually, they're not going to spend the time with me on, maybe I'm not using it enough or buying enough for them on an individual basis to even get a rebate. Is that really where the bulk of the GPO works? Is it's about buying power and leveraging it?
That's correct. And, the majority of our program is for the independent operator or the emerging chain. The national chains always have their own deals. I mean, you're talking about the Applebee's and the Chili's of the world. They have their own deals out there. But no offense to the independent operator, but they just don't have the bandwidth to be able to capture all this money that's out there in rebates. And we have the technology to do so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Well, David, let me start with you. Can you share a customer success story from a lodging customer?
Before David jumps in on that, I just wanted to say on the restaurant side, we have unbelievable programs around TV services. DirecTV be one of them for operators. Another one is anything to do with gas-related, propane, CO2, and linens are some of the outstanding ones in restaurants. But David could go deeper on the lodging side as well.
Well, actually, let me hold up, David. You're right, Joe. We just talked about rebates. The other really value of this whole thing is the Beyond Prime, which is the discount programs that you guys offer. And even some of that even has employee perks in it. So you like, I saw, a relationship with Sprint, a relationship with DirecTV, with ChefWorks. I mean, you guys have got quite an extensive, outside of the rebate program, a whole entire prime discount section that really allows people to go and get discounts that if I've got 1 or 2 or 5 restaurants or hotels or 10, I'm not getting those same kind of value direct. Where, maybe if I'm larger and, I got 100 places, I can command a lot of those relationships. But at the end of the day, if I'm a 3-4 restaurant, hotel location operator or a dozen of them, I'm not going to carry those Beyond Prime discounts that you also get. So David, do you mind expanding on that a little bit? I mean, you got like 200 plus relationships. just in that area. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. It's I mean, there's just so much bandwidth that we can go into. I mean, you name ChefWorks, for example, right? Like ChefWorks, we have a 45% entire catalog. So these are the type of deals that we've been able to lock in for our membership. And I think it's the biggest part of what you guys are talking about, right? A lot of times I was speaking to a potential member about a week ago, and he was explaining to me how he went to a specific manufacturer trying to get a deal set in place for himself because he does do a lot of volume on a certain item. But it's not the same thing when, you're having the conversation with 2 or 3 locations when we're walking in there with 55 to 60,000 locations trying to play the same tune. They're gonna listen a lot easier, and they're gonna offer more things that they probably wouldn't offer otherwise. So we have categories with the uniforms. We have categories with the MROs, right? The maintenance of repair and operations type of organizations like HD Supply, not American Health, but Granger, HD Pro. There's just so many different areas that we can help with. One of the models at Source One, for example, is we can help you from rooftop to parking lot. And it's not just something to say just because, it makes it easy to understand. No, if you need a roof repair, we have a program. If you need an elevator to be checked out or serviced, we have a program. If you need to get toothpicks with the logo of your brand, we have a program. So it doesn't matter the size or what you need. We have that covered. You need a new kitchen, we have a program. You need an HVAC system, that's covered as well. So we're really here, to really help the operators understand we want to be an extension of your procurement team, not be the procurement team, because you make the decisions. But our expertise is going to help you to understand what other avenues you have besides what you've probably been doing successfully up until now. We want to make you more profitable.
And Ken, if I can just add to that, you mentioned Sprint, you mentioned ChefWorks. These are things that you can actually help with employee retention as an operator. You can extend that Sprint discount to your employees. And the ChefWorks, if they have to pay a part for their uniform, there's discounts there. To take that further, we have 2 deals with shoe companies, Skechers and Shoes for Crews. Skechers is 30% off. Shoes for Crews is 26% off. And both those companies they're for the work-related shoe. It's for the servers or the kitchen crew. They have the non-slip, grease-resistant patented soles.
Okay. All right. And then, so let's got a couple questions on the broadline distributor. I must have maybe a broadline distributor that's part of the group in here. Does having an MDA, a master distributor agreement, does that affect my rollout of the rebate program or my enrollment in the rebate program?
So we normally find that answer is no, because an MDA is that your agreement with the distributor and the operator. And if there is any type of incentive there, the distributor is paying you back 1% or 2% from their income. The rebates are a totally different thing. So the answer is there. Both programs can coexist because the rebates are out there for the operator.
Okay. And then if I'm working with US Foods or Cisco or someone like that, or FSA or something, I mean, I know you explained it earlier, but the question's coming up. I mean, how do you guys work with the distributors?
So we don't. Our program is for the member, and it's the member's right. They bought the product, they pay for the product to be able to get the rebate out there. The way that we do it through the proof of purchase of the operator is the operator gives us the approval to be able to pull their purchase history and be able to upload it through our technology. It's the proof the manufacturers need. Where we can start the rebate bank for them.
So it really shouldn't affect my relationship with the distributor. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a manufacturer direct program to the operator, and it's not, it's really, I don't want to say have nothing to do with the distributor, but it's between the manufacturer and the operator, and not necessarily the distributor. The distributor is distributing the product.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. All right. So you've got Prime, which I can get discounts. And if I'm in a scenario where really, let's say I'm not utilizing the rebate program because I buy everything farm to, from farm to table, then at the end of the day, I could still use the Beyond Prime program and get discounts on these other 200 services and companies as well. So it's really kind of a two-phase approach that you offer. You offer rebates and you offer the Prime. Obviously, if I'm buying something, or not obviously, but on those Beyond Prime programs, I'm not getting a rebate on those. That's a discount program, correct? Those are discount programs?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so I'm immediately getting that. On a rebate program, there's obviously a cycle that takes place where I purchase the program, and then after every quarter, you guys go in and you submit those purchases to the manufacturers to gain the rebate back for the members in the GPO. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there is a waiting period for receiving. If you're a new member and you join, there is a waiting period before you do receive your first cashback check, and that period is 9 months. But once you receive your first cashback check, it comes every 90 days after that.
Right, and that's because that depends on when the cycle. You take one quarter. After that quarter, you pull the information, and then you take a whole quarter to submit that information and get the cashback rebates back. I mean, that's just the process, correct?
That is correct, and every GPO is like that. Once that first check comes, it comes every 90 days after, but they work 3 quarters in arrears.
Right. No, I understand. Okay, so let's go back to that success story. David, give me one on the lodging side.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we work with many brands or flags that, as we stated in lodging, but 2 of them actually come to mind that I worked personally. So there's 24/7 hotels in the West, and I worked with 81 Global in the East, which I was able to really get to work with them on a regular basis. And it helped me to optimize the program with them as they were reaching out to me for as much help as possible. Brought them from about a 1% rebate average to about 3% rebate. Both of them have over 20 hotels in different states. It wasn't easy to be able to accomplish that, as the hoteliers on the phone understand, trying to coordinate that many people to do things correctly. But it goes to show you that our program can work with many different flags, and we've done it very successfully for almost 3 decades now.
Okay, David, also added, so you move someone, basically up to 3%, right? Which is 2% to your 2% of your expenses, right, to your bottom line. So that obviously, if you got a 5% bottom line and you just added some dollars to it, that's a big number. That's not a small number.
Yeah.
Could you give me one example on one of the larger kind of Beyond Prime programs that you've seen that discount equated to some big dollars for them? Do you have any fresh in your head?
Yeah. You know what? I can tell you the linen program. I had a group up in Michigan. They were purchasing every year. They had to buy about $150,000 worth of linens for their locations. And we showed them the program. We introduced them to our vendors that we worked with in their general area. And they did their sampling. They checked out, the same linen count. Everything was the same, the thread counts and all. And they went from $150,000 to about $120,000. There was a $30,000 savings right up front, just by going with the program. So that's huge. You want to talk about bottom line? That's really big.
That's an employee. That's dollars. Joe, can you do the same on the restaurant side? Give me kind of what's your favorite success story on that side?
Sure. So on the restaurant side, just recently there was a 12-unit restaurant group in Florida that we did analysis on their DirecTV bill, and we were able to save them $53,000 annually on that bill, and that's a game changer. And just Monday of this week, I saved the Delaware restaurant group of 7 30% on their CO2 expense. And that was with our program through Espergrass.
Okay, excellent. Before we go, before I start kind of the wrapping up the end of this, anything else you guys want to add before I I want to give them some contact information about if they'd like to join this particular group, who to reach out to in our organization. Anything you want to add before I do that?
We get a question a lot of times, Ken, on, what can I expect to earn in rebates on an annual basis? And that's always a tough one to answer. But on the restaurant side, I know David kind of explained the lodging. The lodging can be a little bit greater, but the rule of thumb that we look at on the restaurant side is an operator can earn back about 0.5 point to 1 point on food and disposable related products. So an example on that, if you purchase about $500,000 worth of product annually, you could look at a rebate of somewhere between $2,500 to $5,000 annually, if we're capturing all your proof of purchase.
Okay. David, anything you want to add?
No, I think we were able to cover everything that we wanted to make sure we could do to introduce the program. I look forward to being able to go in depth and hopefully being able to do some more webinars, probably showing a little bit more of what we can do as a brand to help the hoteliers and anybody else out there that needs any help. We're here to help. We want to help everybody, especially through COVID.
No, and thank you. So for contact, if someone would like to join the program, I'd love for you to reach out to Alistair Marcel. He's our program coordinator on this. His email is Alistair, ALISTERM, at wahospitality.org. I'll repeat that. It's Alistair M for his last name, Marcel, and it's at wahospitality.org. And if you'd like to call him direct, you can reach him at 360-246-4472. Again, that's 360-246-4472. Or visit our COVID website on resources. We'll post some information about this on there, as well as information on how to sign up. Within the next 24 hours, I'll make sure that everyone that's joined here on the webinar will get an email that will have Alistair's contact information and also the link to sign up on the program. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up. So, not to be on a GPO would not, you're just losing the opportunity to save some dollars. And also choosing the right GPO, someone who can provide you, to be honest, 165,000 different line items, or 350 manufacturer contracts, as well as they're beyond prime discounts. So like I said, it's the largest in the nation, so it really is a great program, and we partnered with them, and it's a great opportunity to leverage the association in a relationship that brings you dollars back. And that's, I think, the most important thing we want to talk about. You can visit our hub at the hub.wahospitality.org. That'll give you our COVID resources. We'll have the information up on there as well within the next 24 hours. So I want to first, let me again just thank you all for joining. Joe, David, really appreciate this. We're going to do this again. I think it's important we get this information out to members. Anything they can do to save money right now in this COVID environment is very important. So again, thank you. Thank you all for joining us. You guys have a great week. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.